Hi everyone, welcome back to my little corner of the internet. Today, I want to do something a teeny tiny little bit different. I want to talk about Exo Kitty. But instead, or more like, not instead, but in addition to doing the regular review shtick, I want to dive in a little bit deeper into the K-drama aspect of the show, since it is very clear that they tried to do an American version of a K-drama. I just want to discuss what went well, what didn't, and then I want to fix it. So yes, if you like this sort of video, please be sure to hit the like button and the subscribe button. But without any further ado, let's start with the good parts of the show. So I think the show looks great. Overall, I think it really kept a lot of the same vibes of its predecessor, To All the Boys I've Loved Before. Very colorful, very pastel-y, like it's a color scheme, it's a vibe. Super, really great. The outfits are also really fun. Everyone is gorgeous, ridiculously so, makes you feel a little bit bad about yourself type of gorgeous. They give us a few scenic shots of Seoul, so we can better admire the location, which I always love when shows do that. And we also get a lot of K-pop, so the soundtrack is fun too. And on top of all of that, we got a legit K-popper cameo by the one, the only, Taekyeon from 2PM. Beastie Idol's 2PM. That was a very wonderful surprise. I was very happy to see his face, but I was very, very disappointed by the fact that there was no 2PM on the soundtrack.
Choices.
Anyway, the acting was fine. Nobody's gonna win any awards, but, it wasn't painful to watch either. I think that the blend of Korean and English was really smooth and actually admirable. It felt very natural, so I want to give props to that because it's not easy and it's not a given. So yes, I think that overall the show is really, really cute and you can watch it and you don't have to focus too hard on it. You can do something else while it's on. No need to use too many brain cells, But now I want to talk about the things I had issues with and how I, a random person on the internet, would go about fixing them. So, as I mentioned, you can really see that they tried to incorporate a lot of K-drama elements into the show. But one thing they didn't do, and I think that really, really hurt them, was respecting the length time or the show's runtime. The average K-drama is around 16 episodes long, with each episode being around an hour or an hour and 10 minutes long. That's a long runtime, and it allows for a lot of twists and turns and really cement the drama. Exo Kitty, however, is 10 episodes long, with each episode being around 30 minutes long. That's way less time, and they try to cram in the same amount of drama as a regular K-drama would. This means that we don't get to really dive into the conflicts and the angst and the longing and all of the things that make a K-drama addictive and compelling. Now, I do know that the show has been recently renewed for a second season, so maybe a lot of the issues I have will be addressed then. But as of now, this one season, it's still an issue. So yeah, that's the first thing I would have changed. Double the runtime. The next thing I want to talk about is the love entanglements or the love triangles, however you want to call them, the murder boards of K-dramas. They try to follow the typical K-drama mess, but with a twisty twist. We got some sapphic love in the house.
That's a twist. That's very twisty.
Wonderful. Mwah. Let me pause for a moment and say that the fact that the lesbian character's name is Yuri is perfect. I know it's a K-drama and not a J-drama, but in Japanese manga, boys' love is called yaoi and girls' love is called yuri. So the fact that she's named after, what do we call the entire genre is a clever little nod. I wonder if it was made on purpose, and if it wasn't, that's a beautiful little coincidence. So well done there. Okay, back to our regularly scheduled programming. I'm gonna need some murder boards of my own. Okay, so first I'm gonna show you a typical K-drama entanglement. I'm gonna take the wonderful, wonderful K-drama Coffee Prince as an example because it's a very standard plot and it's on Netflix and it's a great show. Highly recommend. Check it out. I'm gonna avoid giving plot points away, but I am gonna discuss the love mess Okay, so just get ready. We have our protagonist, Go Yun-chan. She falls in love with our male lead, Choi Han-kyul. Now, they can't be together because Han-kyul thinks that Yun-chan is a boy. Before that, though, Yun-chan develops a crush on Choi Han-sung, who is in a relationship with Han Yu-ju. Han-kyul, however, our male protagonist, before he develops feelings for Yun-chan, he is in love with Yu-ju. Okay, so that's our mess already. Then finally, Han-sung, Yu-ju's boyfriend, husband, I don't even remember. He also develops feelings for Yun-chan. So it's a mess, okay? Everybody's crushing on everyone. They're pining and longing and looking miserable. It's great. Perfect recipe for K-drama. Lots of opportunities for the actor to show off their crying faces, the longing looks, the pining. Beautiful. Now, let's take a look at EXO Kitty's murder board. Kitty and Dae are together, but because of reasons, Dae needs to pretend to date Yuri. In addition to that, Minho, Dae's friend and roommate, later falls in love with Kitty. Now, for our fun twisty twist, Yuri is actually in love with Juliana. And on top of that, later we have Kitty crush on Yuri. Everything I mentioned is great. It's a building block. It's a good starting point for the drama. But here is why I think it doesn't work. Juliana shows up for a total of 5 minutes on screen for the entire show. We don't know her. We don't care about her. She's nothing to us. Now, because Yuri is using Dae as a lesbian beard,
or whatever a lesbian beard is, a merkin,
Kitty is jealous. And there's a misunderstanding, which is a good starting point. But because of Yuri's love of Juliana and Dae dating Yuri out of obligation, there's no real stakes. Right? They don't end up falling in love with each other, and it's kind of bland. There's no tension there, just a misunderstanding that is very easily clarified within 3 episodes, I think. So it's Then we get our additional twisty twist.
Very twisty.
Of Kitty crushing on Yuri. I love it. But again, nothing ends up actually happening because of the whole Juliana thing. She's not there to cause drama and tension. So the whole entanglement falls apart because it's not really tangled to begin with. My corded earphones can be more tangled than that, So here is how I would fix it. I would have had Juliana come back way earlier, at the halfway point at least, if not even earlier than that. Once she's in the show, we can see her and Yuri's relationship change as Kitty and Yuri spend more and more time together and build their relationship. Get the jealousy going, get the drama going. So that's how we get a miserable Dae because, Kitty's attention is moving from him. Minho is depressed as well because, he's not even in the equation. And Juliana, who, came back to be with the one she loves, and the one she loves is being slowly taken away. Pure K-drama energy with a lesbian twist.
Very twisty.
In this way, things no longer feel one-sided, and all the plot doesn't end up falling entirely on Kitty and her stuff. Mutual suffering and pining for all. That's all we want. And when you add to that, the standard K-drama runtime, you can really dig in deep and do the things. You can even have Juliana and Kitty end up being roommates. That could be really cool because then you have even more extra suffering. And you don't have the weird hiding in the boys' dorm or the weird girl, the gamer girl that had nothing, weird plotline that nobody cared about. Now, with these changes though, Minho's crush gets very sidelined, poor baby. So it could be fun to have Q maybe develop a crush on Minho. I mean, why not? Q and Florian's story ended up being very bland and boring pretty early on anyway. So instead of the divorce stress and the exam cheating being the breaking point, have more mess. I love mess.
I'm so excited because I love mess.
Okay, now this is a bonus point because it's not in the main murder board, but there is the whole subplot of Kitty's mom and Yuri's mom being BFFs before Yuri's mom secretly gave birth to a child while still in school, blah, 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 blah. All K-dramas have B-plots. Perfectly fine. Although I do think it was a really weak B-plot. There's no real explanation as to why Yuri's mom would work so hard to try and erase her friendship with Kitty's mom. We are never given a reason for it other than the fact that she used Kitty's mom's name in the hospital instead of hers, but it's insinuated that it was done consensually and willingly, so again, no point of tension. In this case, I would either get rid of this plot entirely or expand it further, give it some flashbacks, give more reasons for why things fell apart. It's just very tacked on and unnecessary. Like the whole stepbrother thing was very odd and completely disconnected. I do like that Day and Kitty did not end up together in the end. I think it's really refreshing, but if that was the end goal, then I would have preferred to have left the gayness part out, which is really sad to say. But having Kitty figure out that she's bi, but not actually letting her explore that is kind of frustrating. It's when J.K. Rowling says that Dumbledore is gay. You know, it's kind of like, oh yeah, by the way, type. Okay, sure, whatever. So yeah, I wanted more focus on that. If you're gonna do the twist, commit to the twist, you know?
Very twisty.
So yes, that's how I, a person with no actual credentials, would fix XO Kitty. What do you think? Did you like the show as it was and wouldn't want to change a thing? Do you think my changes are good? Do you have better changes? Oh my god, tell me your changes. I want to hear. Let me know everything in the comments below. Thank you as always for watching. Please like the video, press the subscribe button for more random reviews and my face. And I'll see you next time. Bye! Some scenic thoughts of soul. Scenic shots of soul.